The way it came about is more interesting than the show itself. I got an email from, and it said Wellesley Society of Artists in the From column, and it said we have a last-minute cancellation for the wall in the lobby of the Wellesley Library. Would you like to have an art exhibition there? And it was signed by a library employee, not a Wellesley Society of Artists employee. So I wrote back yes, and they wrote back, good, get your act together and get it up as soon as you can.
How do you go about choosing the frames for your art?
I guess the short answer is I look at the price first, and if it's low, then I'm happy with the price. I use a framer in Florida, Florida Frames, who does custom work, very good service. It was mentioned to me by a fellow artist, and I have all my frames done by them, and virtually all the frames you see behind me are done by Florida Frames.
You've done a very good job, but there are some very good local framers, you know.
You do, but they're all too expensive.
Oh, okay.
Plus the fact that when you use a local framer, you have to give them your painting and they frame it. I get the frame from Florida Frames and I frame it myself. And it's a lot of work to frame an already constructed frame for a painting.
Sure.
So that's the way I save the money. It takes between a week and 2 months for me to do the work. There's a small panorama towards the end over there, 8 inches high, 23 inches wide. It took me 11 weeks to do. And for a painting that small to take that long, that's an indication of how much detail I put into a painting.
About how many hours a day do you spend on it?
It'll vary from 1 to 4 or 5. I don't like to paint much more than that because unlike artists who stand or sit at an easel and can have good posture, I use a flat surface because it's watercolor and I have to bend over the table, so it's a little rough on the back if I stay there for a long time.
Posture is very important,
Yeah. When I first started painting, I went into Michael's and I was walking through with my granddaughters and my wife, and on a whim I picked up a starter watercolor set. I hadn't painted a watercolor since 1962. This was 2014. And when I got home, I had no idea what to paint. I started looking through the web and I saw pictures of colorful birds. Started painting colorful birds and I didn't stop. I painted about 50 birds before I painted anything else. all from photographs. Virtually all of the birds are from photographs by others. I started with photographs on the web, which I know I can't use if I want to sell them because of potential copyright infringement. But I found a cousin who took some beautiful photographs, some of which are paintings on the wall. My daughter's mother-in-law in New Orleans is a wonderful wildlife painter. I've done quite a few of hers. I've done a few of mine, but the only birds that I've taken photographs are held by a Mass Audubon naturalist indoors in an exhibition of birds of prey.
Yeah.
So,
Still pretty cool.
Birds are a great subject to me.
And that's a good way you have of sort of working around the copyright issue, actually working with photographers.
Exactly, yes.
This is what you should do.
Yeah, well, you have to do if you want to sell it or display it.
So do you have any particular favorites?
I do. The red-tailed hawk behind me and the bald eagle behind me, which are two hanging by themselves. They're not double hung. And then the panorama that I mentioned earlier is a third favorite. That's one of the most recent ones I've done.
I know you do a lot of other subjects as well.
Landscapes. The New England Watercolors Society has a policy that if you use photographs as source material, you have to be the photographer. I don't take photographs of birds, except in indoor settings. So I started painting landscapes. I'm a retired landscape architect. I spent 53 years looking at plants. I figured it would be easy enough to start painting them. So I do landscapes now more than I do anything else.
There is sometimes a little friction between realists and abstract artists.
Yes, there is.
I have felt myself that it's almost impossible to compare one against the other.
It's very difficult, and when you're entered an exhibit with both realists and abstract artists, it's very hard to be, as a judge, to choose one from the other because their attributes are so completely different. You want originality is the foremost hallmark of an abstract painting. And precision is one of the requirements of realism.
A lot of people don't go in art galleries very often, but so many people go past this every day.
That's the reason I accepted the invitation on short notice. I've exhibited in many of the libraries locally, but the lobby of the Wellesley Library gets more foot traffic than just about any other venue I can imagine.
As we've been doing this, a lot of people have been stopping and looking at your artwork.
Good for them. They have good taste. One of the reasons I went to the Galapagos Islands, and I have several of my paintings there from Galapagos, was to take photographs of fauna. I can do cats and dogs relatively easily, but birds probably will not be a high point, unless I go to more Audubon presentations. And I'm very comfortable with landscapes, being a former landscape architect. If somebody asked me what my greatest skill is, I would say patience. In order to do the detailed work that I do, you have to be able to concentrate on something and also be observant of what you're looking at, either plein air if you paint from the outside, or looking at a photograph. You have to be able to transfer what you see onto paper as accurately as possible if you're trying for realism. If you were to see me in my study, listening to my rock and roll and other things that I enjoy listening to, I'm in heaven. I'm completely at peace. And as my wife passed away in 2021, and without art as something to fall back on, I'd be lost. It's the most important thing in my life right now.